going for America. Like 44-6 on the first leg, that's some run. And Britain got the lead they wanted. They're now going to start increasing it because they've got to give Akabusi a healthy start on the anchor leg. Derek Redmond being chased by the teenage Quincy Watts and caught by the American. But has Redmond saved something? It's a brilliant leg by the American youngster.
It was a brilliant leg by the British.
Quincy Watts has got America right back in, and has the British gamble failed? John Regis on the third leg, and he's chasing Danny Everett. The time for Redmond, 44-1, so Watts run a stormer.
I ran a stormer.
John Regis, inexperienced at this distance, right behind the World Championship bronze medalist.
Look at the size of John's arms.
When will Regis attack? Has he got the ability to attack? A seasoned 400-metre runner. Regis comparatively inexperienced. And Everett stretching slightly away. Regis comes wide to have a go. America will take over in the lead with their world champion pedigree on the ankle leg. Akabusi got after him. The difference is 3 metres. Now Akabusi has got to sit there and wait and make a late attack if he can. But he's up against the man who is the world champion. The race between the two of them, and the leg by Regis 44.3. And still Akabusi waits, getting through, with gold behind him in the individual event. Akabusi, bronze in the 400 hurdles. Here he goes. This is the important point.
That was 26 years. It's not live. But no, absolutely brilliant. For the first time in 57 years, the Americans were defeated in the 4x4 at world or Olympic level, and it's by When Chris went over that line, I'm not even going to tell you the sort of stuff that I said. It makes Master Wong sound like I don't know, a judge the way I was swearing after, or a vicar or something. It was just unbelievable. So as we're all jumping all over each other and heading up on our victory lap, one of the Americans, and I think it was the guy I ran against, Quincy Watts, shouted something out. And I am going to change the words because I don't like to swear on stage. I'm going to change some of the words he said, but you'll get the gist. So we're just running on the track and all that, and we run past the Americans, and all of a sudden we hear one of them say, "Oh golly gosh, how the flip did that happen?" It might have been a little bit stronger, but you get the gist. Very crudely put, but a very good question. How did that happen? How did 4 athletes defeat another 4 athletes who should have been 3 seconds slower? In fact, we were 3 seconds slower than them. How did a team win that should have been 27 metres down, turn a 27-metre disadvantage into a centimetre and a half advantage? That's what it was. Well, it comes down to one word, which is teamwork, but that really doesn't explain it enough. I am privileged to be able to spend a lot of my time travelling the world, talking to organisations and companies about a number of things. One of them is teamwork, and I want to share some of the things that I talk about with you for the simple reason you guys are in business, looking to go into business. I'm sure you're not in this business on your own, and if you are, funny enough, you still have customers and clients. So you need people sometimes around you. One of the most important and the first rule of a good team is a basic understanding of each other. Knowing who each other is. One of the important things is what I refer to as self-awareness. Knowing yourself, but also knowing your team. Let me just talk about that relay team. That relay team is made up of 6 athletes. Funny enough, those 6 athletes spend the majority of the year trying to kick each other's butt over 400 metres. Then we're expected to come together as a team as if we train together 365 days of the year. How do you do that? How do you do that? The way that we did it is, of course, we had official training days, official relay training weekends, training squads. We had maybe 2 a year. That's how much it stretched to for the British Athletics Federation. But what we did as a group, and it wasn't just the 4 of us, it was maybe the top 10 400-metre runners, male and female in the senior group, and we did it with the junior girls and the junior boys. We took it upon ourselves to meet in the Midlands. Normally used to be in Birmingham. We used to stay at a hotel called the Post House Hotel, nothing fancy, Junction 7 of the M6, I don't know if anybody knows it. And about a mile down that dual carriageway, once you come off the motorway, is my home club, Birchfield Harriers, and we used to train there. We used to meet on a Friday, have a dinner on a Friday night, go down to the track on a Saturday morning, do a training session together, have lunch at the track, then do a big weight session together, go and do some kind of activity in the evening, go bowling, go to the cinema, something to eat again, and then on the Sunday morning go down to the track and do a massive relay session, and then we would leave Sunday lunchtime. The reason we did that wasn't for the extra training, it was to kind of get to know each other and understand each other. Build that relationship, build that trust in those people. Build that credibility. I'm trying to think of the word that I'm looking for. What's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of it. It comes to me in it. Just rapport. Yeah, rapport. Thank you. It's a great word. You know that rapport. Because you can't do that once or twice a year. You have to get to know these people. And quite funny, 26 years later, we're all still good friends. John Regis is one of my wife's son's godfather. Chris lives 15 minutes from me. I hear him laughing every day. He lives about 15, 20 minutes from me. You know, we see Roger, we all meet, we all hack around the golf course. Not very good at golf, but we all hack around, we all stay in contact with each other. And I can tell you something, if we hadn't gone through that process, we wouldn't have won that gold medal. And again, I'll explain why. One of the other things that it also created was respect for each other. We had that respect for each other. Yes, Roger was my main rival, but I had more respect for Roger than anything else. You know, of course I wanted to beat him every day on the track. I wanted to kick his butt everywhere. But win or lose, at the end of the race, I will shake his hand and say, great race. Give him a hug and go our separate ways. And if I lost, I'd say to him, I'll beat you next time, you son of a... And he'd look at me and go, not if I can help it. You know, we used to have this joke because he was a white boy in a black boy's event with a surname called Black. So we used to have a right out loud. And he'd say, you've got your black ass kicked by a white boy. And always had great camaraderie and respect for each other. And it's fantastic. Let's go back to the night before the race. A couple of things I just want to pick up on. Number one, Chris came to our room and said, listen guys, I've got a fantastic idea. Let's change the order of our race. Let's change the order of the team. Now again in business, people look at new ideas and strange ideas and sometimes think, oh my, that's not the norm. The norm in athletics is you put your fastest man last and your second fastest man first. That is standard. That's what every team does, and they've done it from year dot. Chris has come up with an idea. Let's put our fastest man on the first leg and put one of our slowest men on the last leg, because it would work out right on for that particular race. So innovation is something that you guys need to have in your mind. I have another saying. The crazy ideas of today become the norm of tomorrow. The crazy ideas of today become the norm of tomorrow. I'm going to go off piste a little bit here. Who remembers, and you all look old enough so I don't want anybody lying, who remembers what used to come on in the 70s at 7 o'clock on a Thursday night? No, before Top of the Pops. Tomorrow's World. Who said Tomorrow's World? Thank you very much. You are at least 50 years of age, my friend. Call it on YouTube. Yeah. Who remembers the program called Tomorrow's World? Yeah. Okay. For those of you that don't, Tomorrow's World was a program looking at gadgets and how we were going to be living in the world tomorrow, in years to come. Me and my sister, I've got a sister who's 2 years older than me. Me and my sister were allowed to stay up late on a Thursday night because at 7:25, Top of the Pops used to come on, and after that we'd have to go to bed. So the 4 of us, me, Mum, Dad, and my sister, would sit and watch Tomorrow's World and then Top of the Pops. The only reason we watched Tomorrow's World is because it was Top of the Pops after. And on this one particular episode, I remember them talking about that in the future, this is crazy, this will never work, in the future, house phones will become a thing of the past, and people will have personal phones upon them. Yeah. And never work. How are you going to have yourself connected to the general EPO, stepping over a wire? It'll never work. Crazy idea. There's only one person I know in this room that hasn't got a mobile phone, and that's Errol at the back there. Everybody else has mobile phones. The crazy ideas of today become the norm of tomorrow. We have turned around and said, listen guys, we have a new idea. Let's mess around with the order. Let's put Chris on the last leg. That's where he's going to be the strongest. Let's put Roger on the second leg. On the first leg, that's where he's going to be. And we worked around it. The other thing to take from that, putting it into business context, Chris and John were the slower guys in the relay team. Let's call them the junior members of your team. You've got Roger and I who are the quickest guys. Let's call us the senior members of our team. Here you've got a junior member coming up with a crazy idea. What did we do? We listened to it. You never know where these great ideas are going to come from and who they're going to come from. There is no age limit to someone coming up with a fantastic idea. If it's a great idea, do you know what? Pardon the pun, run with it. Go for it. If it doesn't quite work, as Errol said, walk away. I'd rather do it and know it doesn't work than never do it and not know whether it was going to work. It might cost you a little bit of money, it might cost you a bit of time, it might cost you, I don't know, a medal. I don't know. But sometimes you have to look at doing these things and being different. That whole process of us changing our race wouldn't have come round or wouldn't have happened if Chris wasn't happy and secure to come to us and say, guys, I've got an idea. It's a crazy one, but just hear me out. And we listened to the guy, discussed it, and it turned out to be the best thing that we did. Because if we hadn't changed that order, I can tell you we wouldn't have won that race. The whole race would have been totally different. So be prepared to try things different. Be brave. You've come here for 2 days, that's the start of it. Be brave. There's one thing in the world of sport I can tell you, and it's the same in business. The minute you think you've nailed it, you stand still. And the minute you stand still, you're going backwards. In sport, you are always looking to improve, to take it to the next level, to the next level, to the next level. There is a super fine edge into pushing it right where you want to and overdoing it and getting injured. Hopefully you don't find that push it too hard, but you are always pushing. And it's no different in business. The minute you come up with an idea, other organisations, other people say, that's pretty good, we're on that. Let's have a look at his. We'll make it better than his. We'll make it better than hers. You've always got to be looking at ways of developing whatever it is you're doing. We do it in sport. It's no different in the world of business. I've put a slide on here. If you drop down this link, one of the other things that I do, I actually am the director of the company. We specialise in psychometric assessments. Now, I'm not a psychologist, but I am fascinated by the psychology. Certainly, it started off in sportsmen. And if you click on that link, it will take you to a landing page of mine. Click start, put all your name, your full name, an email address, and your gender, and it will take you through to a psychometric assessment that looks at your personality on your work-based behaviours, how you pretty much work. And at the end of it, it will give you a little report. Don't feel that you have to do it, but I thought I would, as my present, you've seen everybody seems to be giving things away. That's my little gift to you. So just give it a try. It's basically if you do it on a tablet, you just swipe it. The way that it works is 4 words will come up, and it'll be the same question for each. You have to pick one of those 4 words you will most like, and you swipe it up over a line where it says most like, and one of the other words what you'll least like. You must answer only one for each of those. And then right at the end, 24 groups of 4 words. Most like, least like. And then at the end of it, you'll be quite surprised with the little snapshot report that it will give you. And if you want a complete report, we can get those organised and I can get those emailed to you if you email me. So, for me, the first part of this was just to really explain how a team in sport operate, that mental approach that they take to win. And the funny thing about it, that relay team stepped on that track as the second fastest team in the world. And we stepped off the fastest team in the world. We didn't change the people. We didn't hire some people and fire some other people. It was just the same 4 guys. The difference is the mindset and the approach that we took in running that race that made all the difference. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Brilliant. I want to move on because the next bit is the important bit. The time's ticking down here. I want